where we're talking procedures many women in the Low Country may need, but they have no idea that they need them. Here with the details is Dr. Edmund Rhett and Miss Michelle Paul Hamus from Rhett Women's Center. How are you all?
We're fine.
Good.
It's so good to have you here. You look festive, Dr. Rhett. Love your tie.
Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
There you go. And Merry Christmas to you too. So what are we talking about today? What procedures might be out there that some women have no idea that are available?
Well, we do endometrial ablations, and we do an in-office tubal ligation procedure for permanent contraception, and we can do regular D's and C's in the office. And we bothered to get, I say we bothered, Michelle worked very hard so we could become accredited.
That's
so that
so
we
great.
can have an anesthesiologist, and we're the only GYN facility in the Low Country that can do these procedures with anesthesia in the office.
So what procedures would require anesthesiology? Because I mean, I would imagine that you can't go to work that day if you have to get one of those procedures done.
Right, but you're going back to work the next day.
Oh, that's great.
But the nice thing about our office is that you're not spending your whole entire day at a hospital getting pre-registered and all of that. We're able to do all of that right in our office, and generally the patient's only there from the time they check in to the time they leave, only about an hour. Because we've bothered to get the accreditation to be able to do this.
And speaking of the hospital, you all are cheaper than the hospital. 80%, I think, 70 to 80%?
Yeah, sometimes up to 90, because you got to remember we're an in-office facility, which means a lot of times those patients are just going to have to pay their co-pays, which is like, you know, $20, $40, whatever your normal doctor co-pays would be, is all that patient's paying, rather than going to the hospital and meeting their deductible and doing their maybe 80-20 split with their insurance companies.
Right, and for those of you out there that don't know, Michelle is, I should have introduced her as such, she's the office manager over at Rhett Women's Center, so you know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to insurance and things like that.
Right.
What should women do though? Let's say for instance they're not sure if you take their insurance. Before they make an appointment, maybe just give you all a call and you can look it up?
Absolutely, absolutely. If they just give our office a call, I've got two great girls that work up front that will check out their insurance and say, you know, whether or not these procedures, you know, would be covered under their plan. And I can say that there's very limited amount of insurance companies that don't have this done unless, you know, they have something pre-existing or something of that effect. But,
right. Now you mentioned this earlier, Dr. Rhett, but you have permanent contraception. What are you talking about?
It's a procedure called Essure. And Essure is this teeny little microfilament that we go up through the cervix and in the uterus and place in the fallopian tube.
Okay.
And then over about a 3-month period of time, the fallopian tube grows around that, and you have permanent blockage of the tubes.
And there's a reason why it's called permanent though, ladies. This is not something that
It's
you
not
can
temporary.
reverse.
It's not like an IUD, but
Okay.
it is. It replaces tubal ligation you would do in the hospital, where you had to have an incision made in your belly button and certain things done to the tubes in the operating room.
Dr. Rhett, let's say there's some ladies out there that are considering that, but they're still on the fence. Like I said, this is nothing that you want to play with because it is very permanent.
It is
Can they
permanent.
maybe come in with their husbands and talk to you about it?
I think anybody that's considering permanent contraception ought to come in and talk about it.
Yeah, just get maybe a little bit more information.
The procedure we use called Essure is the most effective. Now, nothing's 100%, but it's the most effective permanent contraception method that's available.
I got it. Well, very quickly, tell us where you're located so everybody can find you.
Well, it's 725 Long Point Road.
Okay.
And we're at 375-2210.
All right, and we've got more information on Dr. Rhett Women's Center over on our website at abcnews4.com. All you got to do is click on the Low Country Live tab. Michelle, Dr. Rhett, thank you so very much for being with us. We do appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much,
Thank
and Merry
you.
Christmas to
Merry
you and
Christmas
everyone
to
else
you
out there.
all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you.
All right, well, I was never really good at basketball, but we're doing some dunking this morning with the help of Dunkin' Donuts. What a good joke! We're getting our Java Jolt and our Sugar High for the holidays.